Warning, this video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. The content of this video and all other videos on this channel are the opinions of the creator only and do not constitute legal, trading, investment, or financial advice of any kind. Investing carries a high level of risk and the majority of retail clients lose money. Do not invest any capital unless you understand the risks and you are prepared to lose it all.
Alright, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy, Camel. And today I just want to touch on a few things. We did go live for CPI and I haven't really caught everyone else up on that stuff, so we're just going to kind of touch on that, look at a few charts, have a look at where the cycle lows are due next, because there's a few coming up and a few that are a little bit further into the future, and then that should pretty much be it. So if anyone wants me to do a live stream later, write it in the comments, write something like live stream, and yeah, I'll think about it if there's enough people that want to see one. Slice have given me a code for people to use to get another 30% off of the Slice mentorship. So if anyone is interested in that, there's a link in the pinned comment and description and you can get 30% off with the code CAMEL30. Over on camelfinance.co.uk, the Gold DCA is live and kicking. It has made its first purchase as of the 1st of May in the DCA portfolio, and every single time the Camel Finance indicator picks a cycle low, it will add as well and then compare the two, so we'll be able to see which one is better. And by popular request, we have also added now the equivalent for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is going to start to DCA on the 1st of the month as well, and of course every time it picks a daily cycle low, and then we'll be able to compare and see just how much money this thing can save you, even if you're not a trader, even if you just want to DCA your stack and use it to tell you when the cheapest time to enter the market is. All of that's available on the camelfinance.co.uk website. If you go to the members hub and scroll down on the left, it's in the bottom left somewhere. And as a giveaway for the camelfinance.co.uk website, we also now have a new custom cycle low marker, which is free. So if you just sign up for free, you can get access to all of the course material for free, all the educational content, the gold and Bitcoin DCA stuff, the members hub, the Discord clone, all of that is available for you to use, and you'll be able to get your own custom cycle indicator. How this works is you've got a sine wave and then the indicator which will tell you when we're at the trough of the sine wave, and then you can come in here and use this to create your own custom cycles and your own custom indicator. So you can set this to however long you want it. If you set it to say 40, then it will widen the sine wave down the bottom, and you can shrink it as well. For gold, maybe you'd want something akin to 20. And then to make sure that the troughs line up with the major lows, you can shift this thing left and right by clicking this thing up and down, and it will shunt it left and right and give you your own custom cycle low marker. So that's totally free. That's on the website for anyone to use if they want to. Although please note, this is not fine-tuned by me and the team. This is simply for you to put your own inputs into. So I'll give you another example on the S&P 500. If you want to have something like this, change the settings and shift it over, you can see that it will allow you to fine-tune your own settings and get in at most of the lows, and then if for some reason it throws an inversion or goes out, you can just shove it across and go from there. So anyway, yeah, that's totally free. And of course, if you want something that's going to do the job with precision engineering, if you want something that is going to find all of the lows on the low and give you the future expected windows and the translations and all of that stuff, then that is the main website for you to sign up for that. So that's about all the announcements that I have for you today. In case you missed it, we have got colder CPI prints, so happy days there. No surprise to the Camel Crew at all. However, the surprising thing for me is we are currently sat at about 91.7% probability of remaining paused in June. So this is pretty crazy, but I think what this has to do with is the chart of truth, the 10-year bond yield. I keep saying the same thing. All the while this is a lower high, then fine, happy days, and we can head lower. And I think that's what's happening. I also think what we've got is a big head and shoulders top here. I think that's what we've got, something akin to this going on, and I think it will ultimately resolve lower. But until such time as it does, then this is probably going to continue. And in the live stream, we were also talking about the best time to buy a Rolex. Now, the OGs of the channel will remember we occasionally do some TA on watch charts, mostly for fun, but also to illustrate that it does work, right? You can use it. And in this picture right here, this is a screenshot from the live stream. I know it seems silly, but we did have one angle here, a second angle in here, and then, of course, we had a near vertical third and final blow off top angle that violated to the downside. And this scribble here from the live stream was me saying that I think this is what we need to look for now, a bottom to be put in the watch market and in the Rolex market in general. And then I think once it's formed a range, it should break from that range. And if you're in the market for a nice fancy watch, I think this would be the sort of time to do it. Of course, the alternative is this continues to bleed for a while longer, and then we may have to use a diagonal trendline break, something like this. But either way, as far as I'm concerned, this is still a market, and you can therefore treat it like a market. And if you are going to convert your money from fiat to a watch, then I make the case you should probably do it when the chart is ready to reverse. So anyway, if anyone's interested, I know a bunch of people are, we will indeed update you when I believe this market has bottomed and when I believe it's the right time for me to enter it. In other news, if you think Bitcoin cannot reach 200k this year, then your views align with this man's. He says he can't believe some people on the internet think Bitcoin will get above 200k this year. It's not going to happen. It's just not. So the new base case, of course, is 200k Bitcoin on this channel. And yeah, you don't really generally want to be in alignment with this man's thoughts and opinions. Geometric got a nice chart here. Need the US low caps to fire as well to confirm the end of cycle rotation into risk on, including the Russell 2K and altcoins. And it may look something like this for the Russell 2K. Certainly something to keep an eye on, something that I have of course been expecting, and that's why we did a whole heap of dip buying during the spill when I was jumping up and down screaming contrarian. Coming up next, I got a bunch of bullish crypto and Bitcoin stuff to show you. First of all, a lot of people said this chart was insane, but if we continue at this rate, we are probably going to be there sometime around Q3, maybe nudging into Q4. We are probably going to be not too dissimilar from this. This is, by the way, over 300k. Now, can it happen? Can't it happen? Nobody knows. But again, I continue to remain bullish. I think that we can slowly see the price action pulling in more retail investors. We can see this because digital gold searches are spiking to all-time highs. We also had Ethereum misspelled, okay? Ethereum with an I. Those searches have been spiking. And with hindsight, all of this stuff was actually quite obvious, right? We had the hash ribbons crossing. This is something I've been showing. And whilst there's often a delay between the buy signal and the price pump, ultimately, if you have a little bit of patience, we do tend to see bullish extremes, and that's exactly what we've got going on here. We also were very, very closely following the 2017 fractal, which is the orange one, up until this most recent pullback into the weekly cycle low. But I make the case we've now got some catching up to do. Now, if we were to make it all the way up here, that's actually $1 million per Bitcoin there or thereabouts. I'm not suggesting we're going to get to 1 million, but even if we were to do something like this, okay, and then top, that is still plenty of gains for this cycle, and I think plenty of people will be more than happy with that. It's also true that the exchange reserves continue to dwindle, and that's likely because the institutional players continue to buy all the Bitcoin that becomes available. And slowly but surely, the institutions are actually capturing this asset class, which is kind of wild, right? Look at the change in Bitcoin ownership in 2025. Businesses, massively up. Funds and ETFs, massively up. Other, by the way, includes change in Bitcoin to be mined, Bitcoin held in smart contracts, and estimated Bitcoin lost. Governments up 19k. Meanwhile, the individuals have been supplying all of this, okay? So retail, for some reason, individual holders have quit, have handed their Bitcoin over to the institutions, and they didn't need any law changes at all to do it. They just simply needed to convince the world that Bitcoin could no longer do Bitcoin things. So what's new in the charts? I do wonder if we've got this. I've been thinking we do one of two things. Either we come up from here and then down into that daily cycle low, or if it has topped right here right now, then we'll probably be heading back down here to 90 or 88k, something like that for the cycle low in early June. Either way, doesn't really change how we're going to be approaching the market. We're still going to patiently wait for the cycle lows and then execute on our edge, because that's the only trade setup we usually take. Gold and silver blessing us with an undercut. Love to see this. Probably going to need a little bit of chop here, but in the process of working out a weekly cycle low, and then it should be time to go. So happy days there. Same is true of silver. I was hoping to see an undercut. So far, we've got a marginal undercut, but I think it might need a little bit more. In fact, I think we should maybe just pull this over ever so slightly, and ultimately that's still a tradable low for me. The stock market is pretty much the exact same setup as Bitcoin right now, heading into a daily cycle top in the not too distant future, heading down to a daily cycle low, and then it's time to figure out whether or not this thing is going to rip to new highs or come back down and fail the cycle, in which case that's the lower high bounce. All of that would have made sense if you've been following the channel. So there's nothing easy about it. I can assure you, as I've been telling the members, that as we come down into these cycle lows in the early June timeframe, attitude, sentiment, toxicity is going to be very, very, very different to how it is now. Right now, it's pretty easy to say, well, I'll wait for a cycle low pullback and I'll get long and back the swing. But I can assure you, once we get there, nobody's really going to want to do it. I've been saying this consistently to the members, you know, get your head around this right now. Expect when you get here for nobody to really want to buy this pullback, and expect the risks to be high coming out of that cycle low as well. But as ever, we will continue to get through it because we always do. Dixie's still yet to truly confirm a weekly cycle low with a trendline break. Pretty interesting. I do wonder if we are going to get another undercut here, or perhaps if we're going to start to see inverse correlation once more. Are we going to finally start to see this thing break out as the stocks and Bitcoin pull down into their cycle lows? We'll continue to track it. VIX daily cycle has bottomed right here, so a little bit of pop makes sense as we have to start to head down to some cycle lows as well. And other than that, as I said at the start, if you want me to go live a bit later on, just comment down below, and I'll maybe be live about 1 p.m. GMT. Other than that, have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll be back tomorrow as always, and until then, take care. All the best. Cheers. Bye.
Camel Finance, he's the man to see. Rocking the markets with his contrarian spree. Trades like a pro, no fear, no shame. Sticking to his guns in his money game. He's a badass, oh yes indeed. Camel